Hello, good afternoon. Viewers at home, my name is Edutainment Michael. This is another opportunity for us to meet again on our educational series of Omega Bio-Edutainment. Today again, we are going to continue our genetics, and today's topic is going to be centered on human genetics, so to say. And the topic we are going to consider is going to be pedigree and consanguinity. These are very important topics in human genetics because, in fact, that is exactly one of the major tools that they have in what is called genetic counseling. So, what we are going to do today is going to be a major leap in understanding genetics as it has to do with human, that is human genetics, so to say. Okay. I want to begin with what do we actually mean if you talk about what is consanguinity. What do we mean by consanguinity, and what is pedigree as we have it in genetics? Okay, pedigree is nothing but symbolic. Is a representation, symbolic representation of human genetic diseases. It's symbolic that illustrates human genetic diseases or traits in human diseases a given period, within a given period, especially in terms of generation. So, if you actually want to know if there's a disease that the present generation is actually experiencing, if you want to actually know how the second, third, fourth generation is going to look like, so that means we apply what is called pedigree and consanguinity. Consanguinity is a kind of marriage. Is a marriage between sisters, that is between sister and brother. So we are going to look at this. So at the end of this course, we want to see a situation whereby you should be able to talk about application of pedigree and application of consanguineous marriage or consanguinity in determining or in counseling, offering counseling, genetic counseling to people in human. So there are basic things that we have to know. In fact, today is just going to be a kind of introduction, and the next video when we come, maybe the next day we will now come and look at application of all this. So if in pedigree, anything that, if you come across any symbol like this, so which is a cycle. Cycle represents female, whereas rectangle represent male. Okay. If you have the cycle which is shaded, this person is an affected female. And if you see shaded rectangle, this person is a affected male. The person is an affected male. Okay. Then if you see half shaded male, half shaded, so half shaded circle, like this, person is a carrier female. And if you see half shaded rectangle now, this person is a carrier female, sorry, carrier male. Okay, and anywhere you now see anything like this, this one means marriage of normal, that is normal male with normal female. If there is anything like this, this one is a affected couple. That is the male and female are both affected. Male and female both affected. And when you see anything that has to do with this, this is going to be the carrier couples. That is, both male and female are affected. And anytime you come across vertical line, this one is a vertical lines. If you see vertical lines like this, that is telling us that offspring this is offspring from a mating pair. Offspring from a mating pair. For example, if you see anything like this, and so you can see that this is mating pair. So the set of offspring they will come is vertical. And if you now see all this horizontal, is talking about the siblings. And generations are represented by so those one that will be up, it is always, generation is always up to the bottom, with the up meaning the oldest, then the down, that is the bottom, meaning the what? The youngest. So, and it is usually represented in Roman numeral like this, second and third, or it can be represented in figures 1, 2, 3, like that. So that is these are set of okay. Then when you have something like this, okay, so this is, if this is A, sorry, condition A, if this condition B, this is C. So A is homozygotic, that is identical, homozygotic twins, but one is a male and the second one is a female. The second one, when you have this, that is also homozygotic twins, but two are female. Then the third case is when you have homozygotic twins and you have them as two of them to be male. Two of them to be male. Okay. So these are very, very, very important. These are very, very important. And just like I said, today we are only going to be conversant with all the symbolic representation. That is, what are the symbols that you can use in pedigree. In pedigree. So the next time we'll come, we look at basic examples of pedigree, where you can use pedigree. The first one is autosomal dominant inheritance. Autosomal dominant inheritance. Then we also use autosomal recessive inheritance. Then the third one, we will look at X-linked X-linked recessive inheritance. Then the last one is how mitochondria genes are inherited. So we look at mitochondria inheritance pattern. You know, this part of a you can see that all these do not follow Mendelian pattern, and it's part of what we have actually learned about situation whereby Mendelian principles are not being followed. So we are going to see all this. Don't forget that at the end of this course, you are going to see all this, and we look at how they can be applied in offering genetic counseling, and what informed decision you can actually make. So don't forget that we said the pedigree is a way of is a diagnostic symbol, diagnostic tools that you can use to be able to know how some traits are inherited. Some traits, especially those ones that are autosomal recessive inheritance, or what we can call genetic diseases. So, just like I said before, just like what I said before, that today is just going to be a kind of introduction, introducing viewers to what is a pedigree, which I said pedigree is in genetics very, very useful. It's very, very useful because it's a diagrammatic or chart they use in genetics in order to be able to illustrate the inheritance of traits or diseases within a family, so over multiple generations. So if there are certain genetic diseases that are still very possible, that are present in your family, so and you want to know how those those traits can be inherited, so as to pass it from 2, 3, 4 generations. So what you make use is you can do that on your paper, because you'll be able to know how to diagnose that. Just like I said, it is a very, very invaluable, very, very powerful tool they use in genetic counseling. So they use it in genetic counseling, they use it in diagnostic medicine, and to be able to tell them the potential risk of marrying one of passing one disease from one generation to another. And just like I said, anywhere you see a cycle represents female. The square, not rectangle, sorry, the square is standing for male. And wherever it is shaded, that means if it is a shaded cycle, you will know that that cycle is representing an affected female. If it is shaded rectangle, it is representing affected male. And if it is half shaded, that is a carrier female. That is circle that is half shaded. Then the rectangle, the square that is half shaded, that is carrier male. And if you have horizontal lines, that is connecting two partners. If you have horizontal line, that is the horizontal line you can use to connect that. Just like I said, marriage between normal male and normal female will be connected by an horizontal line. So then vertical line that is coming from down, just like what you see here, vertical line, just like what you see here. Yes, that is telling us that that is representing the offspring, mating pair, and that is the offspring. Okay, just like what you see here. Then after that, we also look at lines. If horizontal lines are connected, I told you that is talking about mating partners, and vertical lines, that is telling us that it is talking about offspring. And when you have siblings are those ones that are actually represented by the use of horizontal line, which connects the parent to their offspring. So siblings are connected by horizontal lines that branch off from the parents. Okay. Then generation. I told you that generation can be represented with a Roman numeral like a 1, 2, 3, just like you have it, and it can also be represented in Arabic numbers like 1, 2, and 3, just like what you have on the board. And don't forget that in pedigree, those one, the generation or the set of offspring that you have up is representing, from the top is representing oldest generation, and to the bottom that is representing youngest. So that is that. And I gave you examples of cases whereby you can apply pedigree to be able to know them. So we talk of autosomal dominant inheritance. We look at autosomal recessive inheritance. We also look at X-linked recessive inheritance, as well as mitochondrial inheritance. So having known all this, I think by the time we come by the next video that we will look at, start looking at how all this can be applied. And don't forget that I told you that the marriage of consanguinity, that is union between two individuals that are related by blood. That is, it might not necessarily be direct sisters and brother, but a marriage that has to do with relatedness by blood between two closer blood sisters of blood. So in most cases, it refers to marriage between individuals who also share the same ancestors. If you trace them back and you discover that you are from the same ancestor, the same family, second cousins, first cousin, and so on and so forth like that, this is exactly what is called consanguinity or consanguineous marriage. So all these consanguineous marriage in genetics is hereby is recommended, and we will look at what are the various reasons by which consanguineous marriage can be represented in genetics. All this we will see when we come back in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like, and also share as well. Comments, because we want to hear from you, we want feedback, so that we'll be able to improve serving you. Don't forget, this is the furtherance of the educational series in Om3ga Bio-Edutainment series. So